Hey everybody, let me describe something to you. There's this person, they're competent, they work hard, they get really good results. They're told people respect them. Their boss trusts in them to do their job all the time. Their colleagues, they actually come to them regularly for answers. And then they go home at night, quietly convinced that one day someone's going to figure out that they have no idea what they're doing. Yeah, sound familiar? Well, I'm describing me, whether you know it or not. Maybe it applies to you, but it does apply to me. Because if it does apply to you, well, welcome to my club. And I'm showing up as the real me today. See, a very large number of people, very accomplished people, are in a very confused club. And it's this thing that it has a name. It's called Imposter Syndrome. That you just feel like no matter what you do, you don't feel like, hey, I really should be here. I don't belong. And before we go any further, there's something I want you to say. I want you to hear. I want to say. Feeling like a fraud does not mean you are one, okay? It's okay to feel like one, but it doesn't mean you are one. If you're familiar, imposter syndrome was actually first identified in 1978 by psychologists Pauline Clance and Suzanne Eames. They were studying high-achieving women who, despite their credentials, despite their track record, despite their results, and I mean their real documented success, believed that they felt like they had just tricked everyone around them. They expected that one day they're going to be exposed. And I'm telling you, I still feel like that some days. They were waiting for someone to walk in and say, we found out the jig is up. I'm not going to lie to you. I've had times that I've seen my boss call and I'm like, this is it. He's telling me I'm done. Well, here's what made their research so striking. These weren't people who lacked evidence of their competence. The truth is they had the track record. They had the documented success. They had plenty of it. They just couldn't access it emotionally, mentally. And since then, well, the research has shown that up to 70% of people in this world experience imposter syndrome at some point in their lives. 70%, that's pretty much all of us, right? You 30% who don't, I want to know your secrets. This is not a niche problem. It's pretty much all of us. It happens with executives, doctors, athletes, teachers. That first year at college, you remember what that felt like? That first day at high school. People who have been in their field for 30 years still will experience this. In fact, the only people who rarely seem to experience imposter syndrome are people who probably should, who are real imposters. That's a great thought. Actually, Adam Grant wrote about that. The only people who don't experience imposter syndrome are actual imposters. They know they're imposters. But some of us, we walk fully convinced that we're the most qualified in the room, but don't always feel that way. Everyone else is wondering, how did they actually get there? How did they get that job? I've been asked that myself. Go figure. Huh? So, what does organizational psychology say about this? Let's go to the science first. Organizational psychology tells us that imposter syndrome typically shows up in one of 5 different patterns. You might recognize one of these in you. You ready? Number 1, the perfectionist. How many? I've been this one for sure. You set impossibly high standards and you treat anything less than perfect as proof that you just don't belong. You're not good enough. I'll go ahead and tell you, done is better than perfect anytime. The expert, that's number 2. That's the person who believes they should know everything before they can be considered qualified. I don't know how many degrees or certifications I had to get before I started feeling okay about it. Oh, and the natural genius. Now this is someone who thinks that real talent means it should always come easily. If it's hard, something's wrong. Now you got to work for things. Oh, and the soloist. That's the person who believes asking for help is an admission of incompetence. I need help are 3 of the most powerful words I've ever learned. Oh, and then there's the superhuman. That's the one who overworks to hide their doubt. Because if they just do more, maybe nobody will notice. Any of those land with you? Because they all do with me. But here's the reframe. Here's what I have done personally, and here's what I want you to do. I want you to sit with this for a week. Because Imposter syndrome is not a sign you do not belong. If anything, I think it's a sign you do. It's often a sign that you care deeply about what you're doing, really about what you're doing well, and that you are doing it well. It means that you have standards. It shows that you take who you are and what you're doing seriously. Well, the problem isn't that you feel it. The problem is if you start believing that it's true and that you are an imposter. So this week, just notice it. When that little voice shows up and says, "I don't really know what I'm doing. They're going to figure me out." Don't fight it, name it. Not kidding. I call it Nivik, Kevin, backwards. I do. And I'll even say, Nivik, shut up. We belong here. Because that's imposter syndrome. And it's not a fact. It's just something that's happening. Because awareness of what's happening, that's your first key right there. Confidence isn't the absence of doubt. It's the decision to move forward anyway. And we want to build confidence. And if we can identify it, we can name it, we can get beyond it. More to come next week.